Okay, how's everybody doing? This is going to be more of a how-to video. I had to do a bunch of these, so I've kind of got my process down. And I figured I'd show you guys how to stand a 10-foot post and set the concrete, get it all level and squared up by yourself. Obviously, it is not easy. If you are not very strong, don't try to do this by yourself. Every bit of it's heavy, and I'm a pretty big dude, so it doesn't really affect me. First things first, you want to put some dry concrete in the bottom. That way you got a good level place for your post to sit. Then you want to pre-mix your concrete. As you can see here, I got this a little wet. It got some water at the top of it. You don't really want it that wet, but you can't take water back out of it, and I don't have any more dry to add. Not to mention, my bucket's about full. So we're gonna let that set up for about 15 minutes or so. Stir it up again. That should knock some of the water out. The other reason for putting the dry in the bottom is all the gravity takes all the water to the bottom, and it gets that all wet, but it also it helps your concrete to dry up a little quicker. The other thing you're gonna want to do, make sure you got all the tools you need next to you, because once you stand this post up and you're by yourself out here in the middle of the woods, there's nobody to hand you anything. So you want the concrete close, you want the level close, you want your shovel. I use the shovel to prop it up. You'll see that. And then I also like to keep a big maul hammer. I usually have a cross string here, but I had messed up, and that's in other videos. But if you'll see, I've got my strings running with my posts here, and then I just put my little red line right here at 16 foot. So when I stand this up, I need it to just barely touch that string and the edge of the board to be right at that red line. That way you're not sitting here trying to fumble fuck around with tape measures while your hands are full of a post and it's trying to fall over, and this is the best way I've figured out how to do it. So in the meantime, I'm gonna grab a cigarette and let this concrete set up. I mixed it a little wet, and I'll have to sit here and hold this post for 30 minutes if I don't just let that kind of set up a little bit. And I didn't do that on my very first post, and it kind of bit me in the ass. So I'm going to let this set up until it's nice and thick, and then I'll prop the camera up and kind of show y'all how I get this done. Well, by yourself. It's a little tricky, but you'll see. Okay, so I just want to reiterate, I've let the concrete for a little while. You see it's starting to not be so watery. Get it stirred up. This is still going to be a little soupy, but I'm probably going to go for it. That dry concrete in the bottom will help. All right. So one thing to think about here is a lot of people mix concrete in a wheelbarrow. If you're doing this by yourself, there is no way you're going to be able to hold that post straight and shovel concrete out of a wheelbarrow or dump a wheelbarrow over in any way, shape, or form. So what you'll notice is I got this bucket to where when I tip it over, it's going to pour everything into that hole. I have to double check myself, so that's why I'm saying this again. Make sure you got all your tools right here next to you, because if you don't, you're just going to have to stand there. I brought up the maul earlier and got sidetracked. I bring that in case, so like let's say I stand this post, get the concrete dumped in there, and I'm a ½ inch away from that red line. Well, you're going to break your foot trying to move that thing by kicking it or something. So if I need it, I just grab that maul, and it allows me to adjust a little bit. You want to get it close before you go pouring it in there, but doesn't always work out that smoothly. It's one of them deals. Better to have it, not need it, not have it, because you get this thing stood up, you need to adjust it. You can't let the post go. So, without further ado, I'm gonna set this camera up and show you guys what to do. So make sure you got your level, make sure you got your shovel to prop it up, make sure you got a good big hammer in case you need to adjust it. Get your concrete next to the hole, make sure it's good and set up and ready to rock. All that moisture on top is going to hit that dry concrete. Make sure you put dry concrete at the bottom so that you got a nice level surface and it dries quicker. Alright, so first thing, you want to try to get it as close as you can while everything's dry. Grab your level, get close, see how it sits. That way. Close enough. Keep that handy. Ooh, that's soupy. Alright, my post twisted a little bit. Okay. Now it's in place. The shovel's keeping it from falling down the hill. What you're gonna want to do, I'm gonna be upside down for a second because this camera's way low. What you're gonna want to do is, now again, let that set up, but you gotta keep your level with you. Now you can take your hands off of it. I've got it sitting where I want and I've got it mostly level, but it's gonna keep moving around on me as long as that concrete's as wet as it is. I wish I'd mixed it a little bit thicker. This video would be quicker, but I didn't. So I'm gonna have to sit here and wait. I'd say for about 15 minutes. I'll keep a good eye on it, keep adjusting my level, make sure I get it sitting where I want, because once that stuff really starts to set and get hard with that concrete in the bottom, you ain't gonna move it no more. So if it's out, it's out. You'll have to fix that other ways. But that's the gist of it. You got to get it in there, and a lot of it's just making sure you got everything right there next to you. It can be done by yourself. Of course, it's a lot easier if somebody holds it straight and level while you dump the concrete, and you don't have to do everything with one hand. But that is the technique I've figured out for doing this on my own out here, and I hope it helped you out. There's not much more than letting it dry, so I'm going to end this here. Thanks for checking it out.